Hey, everybody, welcome back to Tell This Story. Today I have with me the founder of Carry the Flag USA, Chris Maleta. Chris and I, we met through the Instagrams just a couple of weeks ago. I saw all the stuff that he was doing, and actually, it was before I went to Scotland, so it was back in the end of May. He's like, hey, bro, looking at your stuff, it's pretty cool. You want a sticker? And I was like, yeah, man, I just need to get a new Stanley so I can put all these cool stickers on. And what's Carry the Flag all about? I get back from Scotland. We connect on a phone call just a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, man, what I thought was going to be a 5 or 10 minute conversation about what you're doing turned into an hour of just freaking everything under the sun. So I'm happy to have you here today, man. I want to talk about Carry the Flag. I'm not mad at you because you're showing off the M. Dot picture behind you. It's kind of a,
Right there.
yeah, no, it's kind of a flex. I don't have one of those. I mean, I did 3 of their branded races, but they were the 70.3. So I haven't earned the M. Dot, but
Got you.
whatever. I'm not, if I'm not looking at you, it's because I don't want to see that thing behind you. So still a little jealous. So anyway, what's up, brother? How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm great. We're actually getting ready to do this Kansas City pickleball tournament tonight, and we're getting everything set up. So a little bit busy, a little bit chaos, but it's exciting. I'm ready to do it. I'm ready to get our message out there every single week. I'm looking at a different place to go to just spread the message and get the word out of who we are.
You know, I need to do pickleball. I need to put that on the list, and I don't know if I'm going to put it before hot yoga or after hot yoga. I'm resistant for both. More so about pickleball. Is it really that great?
Dude, I remember playing pickleball back when I was in high school. Our gym coach just had us play, and it was fun. And then all of a sudden it's what, like, COVID hit and like pickleball just took off. And I'm like, wait, we played this in high school in gym class, and now all of a sudden it's a huge phenomenon. So it's going to be pretty cool. Like I said, it's a local charity that's putting it on, and a couple of Chiefs players are involved with putting it on. So the Kansas City Chiefs, and thought it'd be cool to go out there and sling some stuff and meet some people, connect and network, do all that. So
That's cool, man. Well, I'm going to start a trend. I'm going to get an old parachute, and I'm going to get a bunch of kids in the neighborhood. We're going to throw it up, and then we're all going to run under and let it fall on us. So,
I
I mean, if we're
remember
going
that
back
game too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the elementary school stuff, and I'll brand old parachutes for the next
Yeah.
pickleball. No, that's awesome, man. I do want to say I'm wearing my Tell This Story t-shirt.
Tell
It
this
didn't come from
story.
Carry the Flag. It came from my friend Jason Palomero from Living Blue Apparel. But
All right.
I have been toying around with the idea with the Carry the Flag shirt. I haven't ordered because I haven't decided yet. Do I really want to go with the athletic cut t-shirt? Because I get them and I don't wear them because I'm a little husky and they make me self-conscious.
This is why I do the 50-50 blend on the polyester, because I hate cotton shirts that are heavy, and I hate how they balloon out on you. At least having a little bit of polyester, it comes back in and it's kind of more of a true fit, and they're nice and soft, nice airy, rather than a big cotton shirt that sits out on you. So
All right, now I guess the only thing is, do I do blue or black? So I got plenty of black shirts, and my wife says I have too many blue shirts, so I don't know what to do.
I know it's hard. I love my black shirts. But yeah, man, I mean, what do you want? You want me to start off with the whole story?
But you know what? Just first, tell everybody who you are, because I'm not doing intros anymore, bro. I either embarrass people by saying all the wonderful, cool things I think about them, and of course, they're too humble to
All right.
admit any of that stuff. So, who are you? Who is
Uh,
Chris?
who am I? So I'm Chris Maleta. I am a 17-year vet on the fire department, a fire paramedic. I think it sounds cooler when you say fire medic. Father of 2, finisher of the Ironman, finisher of 4 half Ironmans also. After I did the full one, I was kind of like, all right, dude, I'm a big dude. I'm a 6'2", 250. Like, I'm a big guy. The full Ironman at that time, I was probably down to 230, put a beating on me.
Yeah.
So I was like, the full Ironman is a little bit too long for me now. So I'll just start doing like shorter stuff. But really, honestly, I'm more of into being what do they call them? Tactical athletes now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to stay well-rounded on everything. But after I did the full Ironman, I became, like I said, I have 2 kids, and I became an entrepreneur. I had 2 kids, and I wanted to teach them things that I weren't taught when I was younger. How does this one person have this, or this business has this? how does the world work? So I set out on a journey of talking to anybody and everybody that would talk to me that I thought was wealthy. So I started asking questions. Hey, how'd you get to where you were? Because I mean, firemen, dude, don't take this away. Firemen, it's the best job in the world. I mean, to be able to show up and help people, yeah, help people and put fires out, like, awesome thing. But I came to that point in my career where I had kids and I wanted to teach them. So I went around and I just started talking. I asked anybody from millionaires to I had an opportunity to speak to a billionaire. It all revolved around starting a business. So as a fireman, I have a lot of time off and I'm like, I don't want to do the traditional firefighter job. I don't want to cut lawns or build houses or that. Let me try starting a brand. So, like I said, I just got done finishing up the Ironman, and my saying on the Ironman was always live life, push limits, fear nothing. You got to live life to the fullest, push your limits. You can go farther as long as you put your mind to it, and don't fear that next mile. Don't fear that next rip or that next rep. And so I was like, man, that's pretty cool. So I printed up a bunch of shirts. No clue what I was doing. And tried selling them. I thought it would be just, hey, I'm going to throw up a website and people are just going to buy these. It's going to be, off to the races. Put up the website and nobody showed up. I'm like, crap, man. Like, I thought it was easy. Like, all you did was this and that. So come down, it's just a long journey. And I finally started going to running stores in Kansas City to get them, to get them on their shelves to try to sell them. Well, I end up going to the Kansas City Running Company. And long story short, him and I were about the same age, the owner, and we actually struck up kind of a friendship. And so one day he was like, hey, why don't you come down to the Kansas City Marathon and you can sell your stuff at our booth? And I'm like, oh, let's do it, man. Let's do it. So I get there, I put my stuff out, and I realize nobody is buying anything from me. Nobody knows who I am. So I went through this long process of drawing a line and an imaginary line on the ground. And I was like, anybody passes that line, they're getting my sales pitch. And all of a sudden, now my sales pitch in the very like 4 or 5 of them was horrible. But I started getting my story out. I started being truthful and telling my story about what it was about and everything. And people started clicking and I started selling stuff. And I was like, oh, all right, this is kind of cool. Like this is working. I was very young in my entrepreneur journey and I kind of started getting like people like I guess kind of making fun of you and it kind of disturbed me. They're like, "Who are you? No Fear?" No Fear was in the, 80s and 90s. And I was like, "Well, man, I don't want to be that. Like this is my brand." So long story short, I rebranded and I had kind of a mentor and I was at a souvenir shop on vacation and somebody was selling a fire department shirt. And I'm like, how are they selling a fire department shirt if they've never walked a day in our boots? They've never been a firefighter, but they're selling our stuff. So I kind of took a little offense to it. And my mentor, his business had a person's name to it. It was called Charlie Hustle. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I just need to start a fire department brand, and do this. And so I named it Tommy Flames. My grandpa was on the job. His name was Tom, and Tommy kind of had a ring to it. And I wanted to put a fire department thing on the end, and Tommy Flames came up. It was kind of cool. I started selling stuff. We did like a Crossroads First Friday pop-up shop here in Kansas City and had, a lot of good traction and everything. And then COVID hit. So COVID kind of slowed me down. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could market my brand without because we couldn't go out. So I started making, my kids at that time were probably 7 and 8. And so we started up a YouTube channel called Tommy Flames. And we taught kids fire safety. And next thing you know, I've got 2, 3 news stations over here and stuff starts popping off and we get verified on YouTube and we start getting paid by YouTube, which I was like, well, that's kind of cool.
That's really
But
cool.
yeah, I was like, man, I just got my first check from YouTube. And let me tell you, that whopping $20 was made, I mean, life changer. I'm like, we're not eating at McDonald's anymore, kids. We hit the big time. But the whole thing about it was fire safety, and with kids, it's a great idea, but it's something, if you're not passionate about something, it's hard to show up every single day to. So one of the biggest mistakes that I made in entrepreneurship was I just started stuff and I just went with it, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I really didn't know if I wanted to continue it, because everybody was like, the hardest part is just getting started. The hardest part is just getting started. Just start. So I start, and then it's like, oh, couple months into it, you're like, man, I'm not feeling this. Like, YouTube channels are really hard. I mean, I was using green screens. I was taking out backgrounds. I was putting in like effects. Dude, they're actually really good for an amateur that I was. But it just wasn't it. I had to do something I enjoyed. So the next thing that I did was I enjoyed mountain biking, which I started a brand called Dirt Life, which was, did you ride today? And, it's because it's spelled DYRT. It did really well. We were in 6 stores here in the United States. But the hard thing about it is running a mountain bike brand in Kansas City is very hard, because I was traveling to Arkansas, I was traveling to Colorado. But again, the passion thing wasn't there. I liked mountain biking, but did I do it every day? No, I didn't do it every day. I was like, man, I work out every single day. Like, okay, mostly every single day. It's at least minimum 5 times a week, if not 6. Like, sometimes I don't get a day off. So it just kind of kept hitting me. I'm like, man, I need to do something that like is my life. This is my life. So last September, I had obligations with my family. We had family stuff going on the 9/11 stair climb. And that's where, 343 firefighters here in Kansas City, everybody walks up the steps for every firefighter that lost their lives on 9/11. And I've done it 4 times before, but this time I had family stuff going on, and he looked at me and he goes, Chris, who's going to carry the flag? He was kind of busting my balls like firefighters do. He's like, who's going to carry the flag? You don't show up. Who's going to carry the flag for that guy? Who's going to walk up those steps for him? And man, I was like, man, that was deep.
Yeah.
Like, because I was walking into the locker room to get changed, and I'm like, dang, man, that was deep. And so that workout, one of the guys I was working out with, you kind of get to the last reps. If you're doing 10 reps, you're like at 8, and I'm pumping them up, and I'm like, who's going to carry the flag? Who's going to carry the flag? And man, it stuck with me to January. And I kind of came up to a pivot point where I was like, do I stop everything I did with Dirt Life, and do I go off on this blind journey of not even knowing if people are going to like who's going to carry the flag? Or do I continue going with what I'm doing on Dirt Life and do it? But there was just something with this saying that I was like, you know what? This is me. I'm always the motivator in the gym. I'm always the motivator on the run. Like, I'm always trying to motivate. And this is me. Like, I've been a firefighter for, at that time, 16 years. It's 17 years this year. And it's like, man. So in January, I started designing, because, I learned all these skills, and I was like, man, who's going to carry the flag just doesn't sound the greatest. And so I messed around with it, and then I came up with that logo, and I go, there it is. I was like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what the 5 years, 6 years of grind led up to. And it's funny that everybody talks about the entrepreneur journey, that everybody thinks it's just like this straight line, but really it's like this, down, up, backwards, up, down, up, mover. All of a sudden it was like, this is what all of those turns, the ups, the downs, the backwards, the forward was all about, because, I had to start all over, and I had no clue if anybody was going to like it. And then next thing you know, I've got people buying stuff online. People are sharing their stories. It's amazing. And then I was like, all right, let me just see if I have something. So I printed up 30 shirts, and I went to the NASCAR race. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just walk through not the infield, but the parking with my kids, and my wife came, and let's just see. So I go up to the first tent and I give my I give my sales pitch, and it was horrible. Like, I stumbled all around, like, these people are looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Okay." So then I walk away and I look at my kids. I'm like, "All right, like, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just go to the next one." So we went to the next one, which was actually really cool because it was actually a paramedic in the county that I work for. I've never met him, but he was like, "Dude, this stuff's awesome." He ended up buying like 3 things, and I was like, "Okay." So then next thing I know, an hour later, we've sold all the shirts, and I couldn't, and not only did we sell the shirts, but just the stories and the stuff that I was getting. It was like, man, I really feel like this brand is really turning into like a mission. And it was amazing. And the feeling that I get, and I mean, dude, it's easy for me to run this brand now. Like, it's me. This is what I do every single day. That's the story in a nutshell.
Oh, I love it, man. When you were telling me when we were on the phone a couple of weeks ago, I was like, "Yeah, bro, I love this." It just no, I felt it. I felt it when you were telling the story, and oh, it's super cool, man. Who's going to carry the
Dude,
flag?
I mean, think about it. Who's going to carry the flag?
No,
And this
you're
this
right.
isn't this isn't a political thing. This
No,
isn't a left or right. Who are you carrying the flag for in your family?
dude. First of all,
You know?
anybody listening to my show, they didn't stumble into this episode. They're here for a reason. They understand. They understand what it means. Who's going to carry the flag? You say
Yeah.
stuff like, "No, he ain't heavy. He's my brother." I don't have to qualify that statement. What does that mean? Should I ask Google what that means? Dude, the people that are here, they know what those sayings are. They feel it, they live it. And to that point, man, your social media stuff on Instagram, you post great videos, and it embodies what your mission is with Carry the Flag. You're out there every single day. I don't think I've seen a video of you posted in air conditioning. And actually, I want to go back even further. The whole Ironman thing, whatever, bro, no big deal. But I'm a Clydesdale too. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
I race and when I'm in prime condition, I'm like 222. So, yes, being a large framed triathlete, first of all, it's hysterical because the age groupers are small and they get the hell out of your way on the run, and they start behind you on the swim because they don't want to be mauled by a 220-pound man. So that's fun. But yeah, the longer runs, they suck as a big kid. They hurt
Oh
quite a bit
yeah,
more.
dude. Like,
But
not made for running.
no, 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 no. But I need to get back into it because I mean, hell, I'm in Central Florida, bro. I drive for 30 minutes, and I
Dude,
could. There's a
so
trail,
the
a flat trail from here. It's a closed course. There, I mean, there's roads or crosswalks you have to get through, but I can set off 2 miles from my house. I could set off and not be on a roadway and get a full century ride in, start to finish.
nice,
No, it's
nice.
great, man. It's open water swims, rivers, lakes. The Gulf of Mexico is 30 minutes away, so there's no
Yeah, I
excuse for
mean,
me
you just
not to
have to
be
watch
training.
out for sharks, but
Whatever, man. I don't have to be faster than sharks. I just got to be faster than everybody else swimming.
yeah, true,
So,
true.
no, we're good. But
Yeah,
yeah, bro, I've never seen you do a video indoors, so it's weird not to see sun in your face on this screen right now.
yeah, I think, you know, I try to hit heavy weights 2 or 3 times a week, and that's when I will be in the gym. But most of the time I do my workouts outside. Like, it's just me battling the elements.
Mhm.
Like, this morning, it was raining out and I took my kids to strength and conditioning. I did a run, but I was sitting there just thinking about when it was raining its ass off with lightning going, I should be out there right now. Like, this is the test, and then my wife's like, "You're not running out in that lightning again." I'm like, "Are you stupid?" I'm like, "Well, maybe."
Yeah, but my
But
selfie pole, it'll be fine.
so it's just fine. Like, and that's a funny thing is, like, if you've worked out with me, you know that if it's like -10 out and it's snowing, we're definitely going. I've got stories. One of my buddies and I mean, we've ran miles together. And I mean, we used to have those like grenade, like the hydration pack things and dude, we're out there running and the bottles are freezing on us. And like we get done and there's ice on our belts because of the water. Or, you're out doing push-ups and, you know, 4 inches of snow and it's blowing like hell. But like at that time, you're like, I don't know, it's like this feel of like, man, we shouldn't be out here, but we're doing it. It's incredible. I don't know how to explain the feel unless you work out that you're like, I know that high. I know that high.
Well, the thing is too, man, and anytime you endure a hardship, the harder it is, the better the story. The more it sucks, the better it's gonna be.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, I've done one marathon, lots of other distance races, but just the one marathon. And I trained here at home, and it was in December, so cool, not a problem. Everything I trained on was flat because it was a Florida race.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
drive to the other coast, and that's cool. It's in northern Florida-ish, but it was along a river. So there's such a thing as upriver and downriver, and that's done
All
by
right.
elevation. So it's 26.2 miles, but it's well, a rectangle twice. Well, you go over the Banana River. Well, it's a mile wide. So the pitch on the bridge going up, it's a drawbridge, so big sailboats have to get through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's a mile up and down on either end twice. I didn't train for that. I also didn't train for it to be 50 degrees and raining the entire time. I'm gonna tell you, man, cold weather and rain, those are the great equalizers. Then when you throw in a little bit of elevation and what was now 4 bridges for a guy who trained, in flat Central Florida, bro, let me tell you something, it sucked. But it wasn't the fact that I did a marathon, it was the fact that I did it and it sucked as bad as I did. Because yeah, it was awful, man. It was just cold, you couldn't feel your hands, your feet, and it just rained on you the whole time.
Ugh.
So, yeah, yeah. Oh, it was perfect weather. Your marathon sucked. My marathon was awesome because it was cold and rainy the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the worse the story, or the worse the weather and the impact, and that's the better the story, man. That's good stuff.
I remember the very first time I did the half Ironman here in Kansas was in Lawrence. And dude, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that there was like such a thing as like wearing wetsuits when you swam. Like, I can't remember what the temperature of the water was. And I think maybe because I did it with my brother, he may have had a wetsuit. And I was just looking around. I'm like, dude, I don't need no wetsuit. Like, it's just fine. Like, I'm doing all of this, and you want me to put a wetsuit on? And like, I'm looking around, everybody has a wetsuit on. And I'm like, well, I was like, you bunch of pussies. You don't need a freaking
Uh-huh.
wetsuit. You know, I couldn't tell you what temperature the water was, but it was chilly. It was chilly here in June in Kansas because I mean it starts unthawing in what, March? So April, and then like you said, it just starts. So
Yeah, 30 minutes in the water makes a difference, doesn't it?
oh yeah,
Oh,
it
it's not cold
does.
on my feet. All right, get in there
Oh,
to your put your face under for 30 minutes.
I mean, I definitely remember getting in there and being like, "Whew, that's cold. Like, can we get going?" Like, because it wasn't like one of those mass starts. It was, hey, they put you out in the water. You sat there and
Yeah,
waited
yeah,
until they fired it off, and then you went. So
that's the worst.
brisk,
Yeah,
brisk.
yeah. I've worn a wetsuit 3 times, and one was in Ocala. It was a lake swim, and it was awful because it was the first time I'd done it, and it was a full sleeved wetsuit. That's a whole different story than a sleeveless wetsuit because you're fighting the material in your stroke. It was awful. Um, Luckily for me, that was only an Olympic, but I wore the sleeveless wetsuit on a sprint just to try it out, and then the first real race that I did was Augusta, and the
Okay.
swim in Augusta is not bad. The water's cold, but when you get in, I mean, it's downriver. A bag of chips that you throw on the top because of the current, a bag of chips will finish the swim in 30 minutes. So, I mean, because it's a good current. So it wasn't that bad, but I'm not a fan of the wetsuits because then
Dude,
you can't get out of it until somebody strips you out of it.
yeah, I did that. Probably my third year. I ended up wearing a wetsuit, the one that my brother had, and it was full arm. And yeah, man,
It's rough.
my shoulders were fried after that. I was like, I never trained with it on until the day of, and I'm like how, probably a quarter of the way in, I'm like, God, man, my shoulders are just burning. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And you always, and no matter how nice the wetsuit is, it has seams. So there's something that's going to get wet. and it's
Yeah,
usually the crotch. It's like,
yeah,
man, this sucks.
it wasn't horrible because it was just like, "Ooh, that's kind of refreshing, like, it's a little cold," but yeah.
Yeah. It's like I paid $700 and trained for 11 months to do this to myself. I'm
Stupid.
stupid.
That's what I would tell people is they're like, "Oh, you're doing the full Ironman? Awesome. You have to pay to do it? You're paying to do this to
It is
yourself?"
not
And I'm
cheap,
like,
dude. It's not
"Oh,
cheap.
and that was back, I think it was like 650 back then, because that was probably what, 10 years ago now? No, my daughter's she's 12, so 12 years. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So,
it's they creep around $900 now the last time I checked, and it's been a couple of years. Yeah, but
yeah,
it's still on my list of things to do. I feel like I need to do that.
yeah.
I
That
really don't have
was
any excuse now.
it was I didn't understand how much mental it was going to be on the run. Like it was that second lap coming around to come back in. Like I said, you had 13.1 miles left, and it was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, there's a lot of
yeah,
people that will never run a marathon, and there's even less people that will run a marathon after 112 miles on a bike.
yeah.
So, I
Well,
mean, it's pretty awesome.
you said that you only ran one marathon. I've only ran one marathon also, and that was in the Ironman. I
Yeah,
never ran a marathon before that.
my wife is the runner. She's incredible. Her foot comes off the ground and she's already in the runner's high. I mean, she completely checks out. She is solving the problems of the world. I'm like, how do you do this? Because I'm thinking for the first 5 or 6 miles until I finally hit that stride and that high, I'm thinking this is bullshit. This is so stupid. You know, God would have invented cars if we were supposed to.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so I was like, yeah, I've done. At the time I told her, I said, yeah, I've done 3 half marathons. She goes, no, you haven't. And I said, the hell I haven't. I did 3 half Irons. And she goes, yeah, but that's not even a half marathon. It's like, it's a half marathon to finish the race.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
sure did. She's a pure runner. And I said, why don't you do a
yeah,
sprint with me? So we did a couple of sprints together. And she's like, yeah, I don't like to swim. I was like, the only people that like to swim are the swimmers. And
yeah,
those people hate the run.
yeah. I'm just
So
trying to survive the swim.
yeah, people are like, I'm not a swimmer. I'm not a runner. I was like, hey man, here's the thing. Don't drown. Don't crash. Don't stop. That's how you finish a triathlon. That's it. I don't care what the distance is. Those 3 rules are the rules. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I never thought this was going to be an Ironman conversation or inspire me to get back out and start racing again. I haven't done a race. It's been I didn't do one last season because I was so busy with the book and trying to figure out all of this. I'm no closer to figuring all of this out than I was a year ago. And I don't know why I'm not training now. I mean, I've got a beautiful TT bike, I've got a beautiful road bike, and the tires have gone flat. And it's a shame because I'll go to the gym 5 days a week, but I won't get on the bike. So I
yeah.
need to get off my
Well,
ass.
it's hard, and kind of what you tell people is like the discipline and the consistency. Like that's where it is. It's the discipline of getting up every single day and doing it, man. I mean, we were riding like 70, 80-mile bike rides all the time, and you're just out there, it's by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're with another guy, but it's not like you can get next to each other and talk. Like, you're in the saddle and you're freaking riding that whole time. It's all that discipline and consistency, and just consistently, just you got to keep doing it. You got to have that training. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, I did 10, 10 seasons before COVID. And then of course nobody was racing because you can't social distance during the race. But yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't raced in the last 2 years, but 99% of all the training I did because I was on shift work. Everybody else that rode and all that stuff, they were weekend or evening people, and I had to do it when regular people were at work. So the
Yeah.
majority
Yeah.
of my
Yeah.
my training stuff was all by myself. And if it
Yeah.
weren't for the fact that I'm 60 miles from home on a training ride, if I'm doing loops, I probably would have stopped at 30, but I got to get home.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
it's time to suck it up and drive on. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah, it's all good stuff.
But I mean, but it all circles back around to the purpose of why
Mhm.
are you doing it. And that's why, like, carry the flag hit me so much was, what is your purpose? Who are you doing it for? You know, I do it first off for my family. That's number one priority is my families. Who am I doing it for? And then the second part is my crew and the guys that depend on me to, if something happens in a fire, I'm going to pull you out. Like, that's why I do what I do and why I train, how I do it. Like, it's just having that purpose of why you're doing it and putting together a plan. It's just like what I said about being disciplined about it. Are you going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning like you said you were? You going to get up at 5, or are you not? Because there's just a choice. There's two choices. Either you do it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, there is no other than that. And just having the consistency of doing it. And dude, you know it. Like, if you fall off the wagon there, just get back on. Like, it's okay if you have a bad day, just get back on. I find a lot of people, when they have a bad day, it leads to a bad week. And then that week leads to a month. And then next thing you know, they're completely off track. And now they're trying to get back on it again.
Yeah. And they can't even see their way back to get back on
Yeah.
track.
And I think that, like, the fitness industry is very good at making people, like, believe a narrative that isn't true. You see, like, all these people that are, well, you could just do what I did. You can look like me. I'm like, dude, the guy's got like a 12 pack. I'm a big dude. Like, I've never had a 12 pack ever, even when I got down to 190 pounds doing one of the Ironmans. Like, it's just your body type is so different. And if you're strong in all these other categories, like a tactical athlete, if you're strong in every of these categories, why do you care about what you look like? If you can go out and do the workouts. Now, I'm not saying, like, just not have, like, you still got to eat well and do all that. But if you're strong in all of this, why are you listening to this dude that never had to diet in his life?
Yeah.
He sits at a 5%, body fat type. He was, he's born at 0% body fat. Like, yeah, he's definitely going to have abs. So quit trying to compare yourself, because all these people, oh, well, do this diet plan, do this. It's like, it's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. Just find your purpose, be disciplined about it, and be consistent. Like, I don't
That's
know. Like I said, it's me
that's the
getting on
message,
my
bro.
pedestal. So,
No,
yeah,
it's awesome because that's the message. I've been talking to some buddies of mine, and one of my former captains. The guy he's one of those dudes that's just uber disciplined. I mean, the guy, he weighs his food. He knows that his 4 ounces of chicken breast is the same size as a deck of playing cards. I mean, the guy has been doing it for so long. He can look
yeah,
and he sees macros. It's like the matrix for him. And he knows that, hey, today's leg day, so I'm going to start my day with pancakes, and I'm going to go crush somebody's soul with my squat workout. And
yeah,
the
yeah,
guy is
yeah,
an absolute beast. He's just an absolute specimen. Always, he's probably 55 or 56 now, and he's the obliques just like you can see him through his t-shirt. It's like, I hate you, but I can't be mad because he wasn't born that way. So he's super disciplined. And I told him, I was like, hey, bro, I said, in what I'm doing now, and in first responder and veteran world, you have to be in shape to be able to do the job physically. People's lives depend on you to be able to make it up the stairs, to be able to carry the tools, to get into the door, to get in there, to pull people out, to
yeah,
find
yeah,
scared kids while you're wearing bunker gear and a mask and an air pack, to climb under a bed and be able to drag a scared kid out to get that rescue. Um, and if you're not doing that stuff, you're basically saying, fuck you. I don't care about you. All I care about is burritos and my own self and type 2 diabetes when I get older.
yeah.
That's what you care about. I'm not here to save you. Pay me. Pay me on Friday and fuck off. Anyway, I was talking to my buddy and I said, hey, dude, what we do, speaking to people and going out and talking about mental fitness, physical fitness, and how they're related. My physical appearance is a calling card. It it shows that I am self-disciplined. It shows that I care about my appearance, that I want to present and show you
Of
by my
course.
own actions that I believe in what it is that I'm telling you. And I have always been hypercritical of my physique, even though I'll go out with 1,000 people wearing nothing but a Lycra speed suit. I told him, I was like, dude, I need to do something. I need to get back on the wagon because I have allowed my discipline to slip because I'm trying to tell this story off the ground and everything that I'm doing. So
Yeah, yeah,
this is my 60-hour a week retirement job. And he's
yeah.
like, all right, dude, I've got you. So the next day he sends me this email and it's 5 days a week and it's abs every day and it's this and that and the macros and everything else. And man, I tell you, I went in there on the first day and I'm like, I'm convinced that this guy is pissed at me for something that I did 25 years ago. He has to be. He hates me. The next day I was convinced he was trying to kill me. And then the second week, I'm like, dude, I did squats and heavy legs on Monday, but here I am on Wednesday doing 400 air squats because I'm doing 20 air squats in between sets of these other exercises. He's trying to murder me. And I will tell you now, this was back in March, and here we are in the middle of July. The difference that I have seen in just my physical appearance, not from dieting. I've paid attention to the macros, loading the protein and eating cleaner. Doing that workout, I am excited. And I know what workout's coming tomorrow morning, and I am excited the night before about getting my ass out of bed before the alarm goes off, getting ready,
Yeah,
making
yeah.
sure my wife gets off to work and the kids are doing what they're supposed to do. And I'm at the gym, man. My day is shit if I miss my gym time because I'm looking forward to that pain. I'm looking forward to that payout at the end of it. And man, I love every bit of it. And people, I, I wish people would know that just the satisfaction of that discipline, checking off those things on the block, like Admiral Craven says, make your bed. If you want to be a successful person, make your bed. Before you piss, before you brush your teeth, when your feet hit the floor, turn around and make that bed. And be grateful that you're knocking things off the to-do list that day. So when I get up in the morning, I gratefully make my bed, I brush my teeth, I get the family sorted, and I'm at the gym. And I'm winning by 9 a.m.
Of
Dude, it's
course, man.
just if people understood that you just feel accomplished and feel better and you're putting your body through stuff, just the benefits of that, man,
Yeah.
just it's not a cheap high. It's getting the endorphins, man, getting that oxytocin that some people look at, I'm going to eat this donut and it's going to make me feel good.
Yeah, it's gonna
No,
make you feel
bro,
good for about
go
a
lift something
minute.
heavy. Yeah. Go lift something heavy.
Yeah.
Do something hard, sweat.
Dude, I completely agree with you. And like you said, I hear that. It's like who you're carrying the flag for.
Mhm.
You have that in your head. I'm carrying I'm carrying the flag for my family. I'm carrying it for my family, myself. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna murder this because I'm fucking getting after it. That's a hard thing. And what's funny is I have a buddy that I work out with every once in a while, and I was kind of going on a rant one morning, and I'm like, "You think I want to be out here this morning? You think I fucking want to be out here every freaking morning? I want to be out here." And he looked at me and he goes, "I firmly believe, yes, you do every morning." And I'm like, okay, no, there's some mornings I don't want to be out here. I was like, there's some mornings that I get up and I go to the gym and I'm like, because it's hard for me to lift weights. It's really weird. Like, it's hard for me to lift weights, but if you tell me to go run 6 miles, I'm good. You tell me to go do a circuit workout, I'm good. You tell me to go in to lift weights, I'm kind of right. Like it's really weird. It's really weird. But that's what, and one of my messages, and I'm gonna start trying to get out there to people is like, hey, I don't fucking want to be out here every morning. You know, I don't want to freaking sit here and post on Instagram every freaking day. There's some days where I'm just like, it wears on you.
Mhm.
You want to just relax. And it's like there is no days off. That's just a thing where I've just put it down that is like there just is no days off. It's people that just want the lax lifestyle that, hey, it's okay, like I'll just do it tomorrow. No, like on high performers, there are no days off. There is none. It never shuts off, it never quits. I don't have a Sunday, I don't have a Saturday. Like I have shit I have to do. And that's on the list. And if it doesn't get done, I hold myself accountable to it. Like, hey, if you need to get up early and get this workout in, we're up at 5. You know, some days, if I don't have a ton of stuff on my list, I will sleep until 6. But very rarely will you see me in bed till 7. Rarely will you see me in bed at 7. And if I am in bed at 7, it's like 6:30, 6:15. I'm just sitting there like, huh, you know? But it's every single day you have choices to make. Are you going to eat like shit? Or are you going to eat good? It's that simple. It's like there's two answers to that, yes or no. If no, you've got no excuse. You knew what he was, you know? But what happens if you said yes? Like, and you consistently say yes to it? Like, it could be a great thing.
It is, man. It is because I don't know. It's just it's for me. It's accomplishing something. It is. I've done something today. You know, you can sit
But
around the
two,
house all day,
and
but
let me add on to
yeah,
that, is I see everybody doing, and man, I had this buddy, and I know Andy Frisella does the 75 hard thing, which is really cool. I got it. But when you are just starting out and you are trying to get on the wagon and you are trying to be disciplined and start a new way, do not jump into 75 hard.
no,
He immediately was like, man, have you heard this guy, Andy Frisella? I'm like, dude, I've heard of Andy Frisella before Andy Frisella was big. Like, I was listening to him a long time ago. And he's like, well, my wife and I were going to do 75 hard and we got 2 workouts a day. And I'm like, this is not going to end well because
yeah,
it's just too hard to put onto your plate when you're just trying to start.
yeah.
When you start, you've got to start on small things like, hey, I'm gonna just wake myself up an hour earlier, for this whole week and just start making little steps. And that's what I mean by little steps equal big steps in the end, because it's like you're gonna get overwhelmed. I see people when they get on a diet, they're strict. And then they look at me and they're like, well, how do you eat all of this? I'm like, well, because I need fuel for my body, but I'm also very conscious about what I'm eating. Like now, if I want to start cutting weight, I'm going to start being conscious and shrinking up the meal size, but I'm not looking to lose weight.
Yeah.
I'm trying to maintain and I hold that. How do you do that and lose weight? Well, it's just a numbers game. It's just a numbers game. That's all it is. It's like calories in, calories out. Like that's it. There's no new science. Well, there are new medications, but there's no new science. It's the same shit.
But how do I get all my vitamin B during the day? You don't, bro. Calories in and calories out. Just
Yeah. And that's
eat a
just
piece
what,
of steak, eat a piece of chicken,
yeah, man.
and be
Like,
well.
trust me, I want to eat at McDonald's every day.
No,
I know everybody hates McDonald's, but I love their fries. I love their fries. They're so good.
bro. I got a problem with Mexican food.
Yeah, everybody has it, and I do allow myself one cheat day a week. So on that day, you know what, if I'm going to eat some extra carbs, if we're going to go out to eat that day, and again, I'm at a point to where I'm not strict on myself. So if there is a day during the week that we eat out, whatever, not a huge deal. But the next day I'm right back on it. You're not going to see me out all week eating at McDonald's. It's just, it's just not the way it goes. But just to anybody that's out there listening to this and they want to start small. Don't try to overwhelm yourself. I saw that 75 hard on my buddy. He talked to me about it the other day and he blew up and it didn't happen. It
Oh, and
was
then you feel defeated because you weren't able to do it.
and he's got 3 kids at home. I'm like, dude, how are you going to do 2 workouts a day with 3 kids at home? I know people do it, but they are also probably disciplined before this.
Yeah.
They just don't hop right into it. I'm like, you've got to figure this out. You're working full time. Your wife's working full time. You're trying to do this. You're trying to do, I know I'm making excuses, but I'm just trying to be for real here. Like
Yeah.
I've got 2 kids of my own and running all this stuff. It's hard enough, and be present to your wife, be present to your family. There's a lot of things.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's not easy to do. Like the atomic habits, 1% every day. Just be 1%
1%
better every
every
day.
day.
Um,
Little steps. Yep.
yeah. And you can start by waking up, like you said, man, little things. Wake up on time or wake up before time. Little self-reflection for yourself. If you want to do the journaling 15 minutes early and just you in the quiet house, write down your thoughts of the day, the thoughts from yesterday. And it really is easy. And like you said, I think people, they see the entire elephant and think they have to eat it in one bite, but that's not how you do it.
Yeah.
It's one bite at a time.
But also, I mean, going back to the brand is, who are you doing it for? They're watching. you got to pick that flag up and you got to carry it for your family. You got to carry it for your crew. You got to
Yeah.
carry it for, yourself. For one, like you said, you're hard on yourself. Like I'm hard on myself. That's one of my flaws is I'm very hard on myself. Like if there's one day I miss something or if I miss some messages in the evening, man, like I go to bed on that stuff. Like it hurt. I'm like, and you miss that today, but it's okay. You like you're not going to be perfect all the time.
Yeah.
Just be perfect most of the time. I guess that's a good saying, right?
Be the best that you can be, not somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think my why now is, my days of kicking doors in and, being a leader of men and women on the street, those days are gone because I'm retired. But I think now my why is to live long enough to bankrupt the state with my pension. That's it. They're going to have to send
You
a hit squad after me because they need to hit
Yeah, you
potholes.
got it. You got it.
So that's the
But
that's the
but I mean,
plan.
dude, just like your why, you're tell this story. You're the one that's carrying the flag on helping guys get through stuff. You know, what is it? What did you called it the vice earlier? Like, hey, guys, your mission is to talk to these people, get your stories out,
Mhm.
push it on. Hey, what are you guys doing this for? You're building that group of men, women, whoever need this help to help each other, this group, like this tribe of people of saying, hey, this was my story because I know you told me your story, buddy stories. Like, this is why you're doing it. Hey, we all go through it.
Mhm.
So I love it too when you say that is like, tell this story. That's your flag. That's who you're carrying it for. These people are starting to see you and start Doug's onto something. Like you know what? I need to have more personal responsibility on myself. Was it that argument? That was all my wife. Was it all your wife?
I actually
You
had that
know?
conversation yesterday.
Yeah,
I just turned on the camera yesterday and did a podcast episode, just me and talking. And I actually was
yeah.
talking about that. You have to own your culpability in your issues. And the good news
Sometimes,
is, if you're the problem, the good news is you're also the solution. You just have to
yeah.
realize that.
Sometimes you have to own it. Like, hey,
Mhm.
like I'm trying to be self-aware. Like, okay, did I fuck up? Who owns that? Like, dude, it all hits, and that the message, like that's when he said, "Chris, who's going to carry the flag?" And it sat and it sat and it sat and it. I'm like, man, that's deep. Like, am I carrying the flag for my family? Am I carrying the flag for my crew? Am I? So it's, and you know what? Some days you stumble. Like you said, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss a workout. You're gonna miss an Instagram post. You're going to miss whatever it is that you're wanting to do. If you're at the station and you miss something, hey, you did it. Now learn from it and let's move on. And that's another one of the things that I preach on is like, how do you react when shit's not going your way? You know, if shit hits the fan, how do you react? This is what I was just telling my kids the other day. It was like, I don't want the player on my team that when everything's perfect, they're perfect. I want that team. I want that kid that's on my team that when shit's fucking up and it's horrible, they're stepping up and trying to make it better. They're stepping up and they're trying to make this situation, make the game better, whatever it is. So be that person that when shit's hitting the fan, that you're going to step up. Because again, I don't want that person that's perfect when everything's going well, because that's easy. That's the
Yeah.
easy
Yeah. That's
part.
easy.
Yeah. It's when shit's hitting the fan, how do you react? Are you just going to sit over there and go to the freaking sidelines? Or are you going to pick yourself up and be the freaking leader?
That's awesome. So what's next for Carry the Flag, man? Where do we go from here?
Oh, where do we go from here, man? There's so many things that I want to do that I have and I was on a podcast the other day and they asked me what my biggest flaw was or what I've learned is I have to be in the long game. Got to quit worrying so much about the short game and start thinking about the long game. Because, it's every single week I'm putting pressure on myself to find the next event to go to, find the next thing that we're going to do? How can I, help this organization or this, and think about the long game? So that's a tough one because I have a lot of long game goals. One thing I want to get carry the flag, okay, at the end of this year is on our list. We're trying to work it out. So if you're in the Kansas City area and you follow me on Instagram or around to where you want to join, you know what? I actually think we're going to be doing it virtually also. And join us. You know what? It's almost like, because I've dealt with so much crap from these cities on all this stuff. It's like, how does everybody do these runs? And then I want to do a run and now I'm running into all these hiccups. Maybe we should just do a virtual 5K, where we all get on and we just do it virtually, because I can't freaking do it in a city because they've got all these stipulations and all this crap and nobody wants to help out. But that's one of them. And I was just talking to a guy in some messages right now that they run a non-for-profit for military. And I've worked with non-for-profits here in Kansas City for golf. And then we have our concert coming up. But I thought it was cool. My dad and I were on a fishing trip. We go to a place up in Canada all the time. And I was like, man, it would be great to just like bring up a group of guys and we just bond over. And I shouldn't even say just guys and gals, where we all just connect, we help each other out, and just for 1 week, just get clear of everything. So that's kind of what charity, non-for-profit, that I want to run before this. But again, like I've always said, like, I can't do any of this if Carry the Flag isn't running. Mm-hmm. So I got to get that up and rolling on its feet before I can do anything down the road, because everybody knows this world runs on money. And if you're not making anything, then you can't really help out. So down the road, I think it would be awesome. I think there's a charity in Colorado that I've talked with before, Revital Colorado, which is kind of cool. I think they have a ranch that an old military vet, I think, either donated, because I think he passed away, but he may be alive. I'm not 100% sure on the story, but it sounds awesome, to where he just owns this ranch. I think it's outside Colorado Springs, that where they just bring in first responders, military, everybody, that they just go there and they just kind of relax and they learn and they have lessons during the day and everybody just bonds. I think that would be really cool to have.
That is really cool. I've done a couple of those recently. The one in Scotland, it was my second year going back with the Allied Forces Foundation. And I'll tell you, man, those things, I used to be cautious about hey, we're going to go fishing with the vets, and you go out and go fishing, you have some beers around the fire, and then you go back to wherever your respective home is, and where's the follow-up? Early on, there was no follow-up, but more and more charities are here are the resources. Here's how you continue this when you get back home without the support of the group. And so those are really cool things. And the majority of organizations are doing that now. But this thing that I went to with Allied Forces Foundation versus a different function I went to a year and a half ago, there was no follow-on for that. The first one I went to a year and a half ago was not the Allied Forces Foundation. It was a different one.
Gotcha.
And it was just a bunch of vets getting together and doing barracks shenanigans and drinking all day. It's like, man, I felt great that day, but the next day I woke up and realized, hey, man, I'm almost 50 and day drinking is not my thing. And, I'm alone again. Fast forward now, my second time back with the Allied Forces Foundation doing this, the Catamaran Yomp in Scotland. Man, when vets get together or first responders get together and they put aside the ego about I work for this department or I was in this unit or whatever, if you just show up as you, the growth and the learning and just the connection that you get, the authentic connection that you get, like straight off the bat, it's the most supportive and magical thing I've ever experienced. I think you doing something like that with your message and your why and just your energy that comes off of you, dude, that's a winner. That's a winner. It really is, man. And I'd love to see you do that. And if you're doing a virtual 5K, freaking sign me up.
Yeah. Now that I'm saying it, I'm like,
why?
That's almost a better idea than freaking having it.
Well, because you don't have to pay for off-duty officers to block streets. You don't have to pay for the city, their insurance. You don't have to pay for the permits for them to close down the streets. You don't have to have volunteers out there at water stations giving medals. You don't have to pay timers or any of that stuff. You
Yeah.
just mail out T-shirts that already say "Carry the flag" on it because you have those,
Yeah. And make
and
sure
here's your
everybody
medal.
carries a flag while they're doing the run.
Well, that's part of
That's
it,
the
man.
stipulation.
That's the part of
And
it.
two, of course, I'm, an American, and I'm blessed to be an American and love it, and I love that the flag is a part of it. But, the flag is also, not only the American flag, but it's a symbol of what you are carrying it for. You know, like I said, it's just, I think, is it metaphor? Is that what the word I'm looking for
Yeah.
is? You know, the flag also represents who are you doing it for? Yes, we are Americans, and it is carry the flag USA, because I am love this country and would never rather be, but it is about the American flag, but it's also a metaphor for who are you carrying it for also. So, but yes, one of the stipulations would be you'd have to carry American flag while you're doing the 5K. That would be awesome.
Now, are we going to
But
stipulate the
two,
size? Or are they going to carry that little lawn flag with them? They can't do that.
yeah, it's got to be, yeah, we got to do a big one. So yes, I mean, man, like kind of what you're talking about, I don't drink very often anymore. I mean, very seldom have I drank, but it's like kind of like what you're saying is with mental health, why introduce a downer into you when really you need an upper?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always striving for trying to find more energy, especially as you get older. You figure out that like through the day, you just start wearing down.
Yeah.
So when you say that, hey, these guys are getting together and having beers and stuff, and it's like, that's awesome. I love the camaraderie. And dude, I'm a social drinker. So if I go out, I may have a couple more than what I normally do, because I like you said, I love just having that social drink with everybody. But when you're thinking about mental health, man, you
That's the
get into
wrong
some,
mix.
that's a wrong mix, because you're down, and why are you drinking? And it's going to make you even more down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like you said, and then you wake up the next day and you feel like shit. So now you're down again on top of being down. Like, it just kind of hit where I'm like, man, like, is there a way that, because and I meant to say this earlier, one of the guys that go further incentive, he's a police officer here in one of the cities right next to me. We connected last week, and his big thing is he wants to start bringing um the physical aspect to mental health, is being physically active, helping you in mental health. And we even discussed, and it could, I can ask you, is like, I feel like mental health, the number one thing, the number one step should be physical fitness.
Yeah, dude, they're absolutely linked. You cannot have one without the other.
I, and that was one of his big pushes. And I was like, man, like a lot of the guys that I talk to or I've talked to that have issues are not physically fit at all, you know, and I'm like, man, because, to me, when I run, I get into that runner's high. Like I can solve world issues. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't have days where I'm in the dumps.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just life. There's just days that you're just going to like just have that day where you're like, fuck, man, nothing's going good today. You're going to have those days. It's called life. Like everybody has those days, but it's okay and I feel like society now is like, hey, you're not supposed to have any days like that. Like, here, take this medicine because you're not going to have any days like that. But it's okay to feel like shit once in a while, but you're going to have to fucking bounce back
Yeah,
at that end of the day. And to me, it's the having the fitness, the workout routine where it's like, all right, like these are my days. And now as my kids are older, now I incorporate them into the workouts. Like, hey, after school, we're hitting the gym. Like that's what we do. Like we hit the gym. This is going to make you not only better in sports, but it's going to make you better in life. And this is what we do. This is something that we should be doing, because way back in the day, we would be having physical fitness by walking places and farming and things like that. And we just don't get it in our lives now. So
yeah,
I feel like I agreed with Sean so much, was the number one step is physical fitness.
absolutely. You brought it up way back in the day. Our ancestors, if they didn't get out of the cave first thing in the morning, they weren't going to eat.
Yeah.
There
No.
is no alarm clock. You wake up with the sun because that's what your body's tuned to, and I've heard motivational speakers, you think sharks wake up in the morning and think about, oh, I'm having a bad day. No, they got shark shit to do. Crackheads don't wake up and say, well, I don't have a job. I guess I'm not getting high today. No, they go out there and they find a way to get
Dude,
high. Don't get outworked by a crackhead.
I freaking
So,
love that quote so much.
hey,
Somebody sent that to me like a year ago, and I was like, he's like, crackheads, they got money, but they always have crack. And you're like, don't get out hustled by a crackhead. And you're like, damn,
bro,
they're so right.
we had this guy, and I'll say addiction is not a funny thing. However, there's this guy, and I'm not laughing at him. I just thought to myself, he didn't have a job, but this dude was a heroin addict. I come on shift at 6 a.m. He is dead in McDonald's. They're doing CPR on him. He goes to the hospital. Okay. He gets released from the hospital that day because he ain't dead.
Yeah.
I find him on the sidewalk at 11:30 that same afternoon, 5 hours after they're doing CPR on him. And I'm like, dude, this guy's dead. Had to hit him with 2 doses of Narcan. Fire shows up. They get him revived and they take him back to the hospital. I said, stop. This is the second time in 2 blocks today between breakfast and lunch that this dude has done this. Please take him to this other hospital that's in the city, because when he's released in a couple hours and he goes walking down the street, the city of Tampa can revive his ass for the 3rd time today. Like, dude, this guy, I mean, if he was just an entrepreneur and gave that same hustle to, feeding, the homeless or something like that, anything other than finding a needle on the ground, Jesus, you got to put this guy in Congress. I mean, he's a hard worker,
dude.
but just
it's so true
like that.
Yeah, man. I've actually ran those calls before.
No, it just reminded me how much I hate people. I'm in such a better place now than I was years and years ago.
Well, I mean, it's just people don't, a lot of people don't see the sides of people that we see.
And they shouldn't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you see everybody on their worst day, or even as a police officer, man, every single time you've seen that, like, it's a negative response, especially towards police, like law enforcement. Hats off to you guys. Like, you guys,
we've had this conversation, bro. Come on.
Yeah. Hey, you called me to help you. Why are you yelling at me? So it's just, people just don't see the sides that we see. So a lot of the people, I'm like, hey man, like, you just don't understand what we see. And then that just leads into your, the mental health aspect of it. Like, nobody sees this stuff. And whether you're military, first responders, hell, even blue collar workers. And that's what I said, is like, we all go through this, and we all go through life in general. Like, I just tell my kids, like, be ready. It sucks. Like, there's days that just suck. And you know what? How do you react to that day? Is it a good day or is it a bad day? Like, you are in charge of that.
Well, so, I gotta go ahead, Pat.
No. You're good.
I could have been a better dad moment to that point. Years and years ago, my kids were in middle school, and middle school sucks. So there's no punchline there. They're in the back seat of the car, and we're driving back from one of their after school things. And I look in the rearview mirror, and they're just both kind of looking out the window and just empty, just flat. I say, hey, what's going on? And they're like, I just can't people today. I've had a really, really bad day. And I'm thinking, oh, you poor kid's getting chauffeured around town. So it's like, oh, okay, cool. We're at a stoplight, and I roll down my window, and I look at the person next to me, and I motion for them to roll down their window. They do, and I say, I've had a really bad day. And they look at me like like I've lost my damn mind. They just roll up their window, and I look back at the kids, and I said, see, nobody cares.
Dude,
I was
that
like,
is awesome.
No, dude, I'm an awful dad. That was before Doug started getting healing dad. I could have responded and said something like, well, kids, even though you've had a trying day, we have to be resilient, and we still have things to do. And I could have been better, maybe not to that extreme, but I could have been better at saying, well, I understand you've had a rough day. Do you want to talk to me about it? Like, please don't want to talk to me about it, because this is still, again, bad
dude,
dad.
I don't think
nobody gives a shit outside of this house. Nobody cares about you, bro. That's the world.
I don't think you had a bad parenting moment at all. I have that with my kid. Dude, Just because you're having a bad day, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody
So
cares.
again, how do you react to it?
Yeah, those TPS reports are still due by the end of the day, man.
Yeah,
You still
exactly.
you still got a job to do.
It's what I sit there and say. It's like, hey, that's the pussification of the United States is all these kids, and I see it all the time that their parents, they like tend to their needs on that. And it's like, no, like I'm here to teach you what the real world is about. I'm not here to be friends. I'll teach you what I've learned. And let me tell you, just because you're having a bad day doesn't mean that you just like you have a choice. Either you continue to have a bad day or you pick yourself up
Yeah.
and you find something
Yeah.
good out of it.
Yeah.
Like
Having a
I'm not
bad
going to
day is not a pass to be a bystander in life.
yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat this
Mhm.
because this land is not made of sugar pops and lollipops or sugar cookies. I think I was actually listening to gosh, and I know I'm going to butcher this cuz I always butcher movie quotes, but it's the on Rocky where he's like, you know,
Life
this
is going to punch you. Nothing will hit harder than life. Yeah.
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 Isn't that the truth though?
No, it is. And I was thinking of the movie, The Campaign with Will Ferrell. When you said sugar in Candyland, it's like, I don't want to live in
It's
Candyland, you dick. So
it's not a real
it's
thing.
not a real thing. You don't have to live in Candyland if you don't want to. I'm sorry. I get off on movie quotes and I
That
start.
that's one of Will Ferrell's like underrated comedy movies. Like that
It's the
movie
best.
is absolutely hilarious. And then you hear like the politics that's going on in this world, and you're like,
And it matches directly.
oh my God, I guarantee this is what happens behind
Yeah.
closed doors.
Oh yeah. My father worked with his hands. He was the lead stylist for Vidal Sassoon. Dude, that movie is absolutely hysterical. So
Yeah.
yeah, my
Yeah.
wife and I, after 25 years of marriage, we have our movie quotes that we'll go to, and it's just sometimes we just get into a rabbit hole and just start cracking each other up. So anyway, yeah, bro,
That's a good thing, man.
I've had you for an hour and 10 minutes, man, and I tell you, it's been a pleasure. The first time we spoke again, it was just it was like, so hey, bro, what are you up to? And next thing you know, we're talking about me being grateful of having an opportunity to eat at the fire dinner table, and I think that just cracked our conversation wide open. And you were very gracious with information and things you had learned of being an entrepreneur to help me out and this thing and getting started off. And actually, I don't know if you realize this, and I could be completely messing up the connection, but because I followed you and started liking your stuff and commenting on your stuff, I've got
Oh yeah.
fire persons now liking my stuff and commenting on my stuff. And I've actually had a couple firemen reach out. I don't want to mention his name, but he just released a book on how to do firefighter stuff the right way.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think I know
So
who you're talking
he
about.
reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm thinking about doing this book." And I'm like, "Bro, you got a book. Why are you calling me?" And I've had some I've actually got to call him this afternoon, but I've had some conversations with him, emailing back and forth, the text messages, and he's like, "Hey, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to help me out with this." I'm like, "Are you kidding, bro? This is the greatest thing I could do. This is why I'm doing this, is
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be able to connect with people and help them with it. It's just so cool to, and I hate to say being a space because it just sounds so, you know, teenager stuff to shit to say, but it's so cool to be making connections with people who I've never met in person, who are, 12 states away from me, and just meeting one person and making a connection makes a connection to another person. And there's just a lot of growth and a lot of help and just people connecting because they want each other to be successful. I think this whole thing is just super cool, man. And I'm grateful for your time, your message. I'm grateful for Carry the Flag. And now that because my dermatologist actually cut a piece of the back of my scalp off 2 days ago, I've got to start wearing hats more often. So it's no longer proper for me to wear a beret. So or floppy hats. So I've either got to get myself some branded Carry the Flag hats or just get an old granddad hat and start wearing it outside. I know. There you go. The foam trucker hats. I don't know
So
if it's
the
going to be
foam
great for
truckers,
sunshade, but I got to do that.
they're really nice to work out in. That's why I love them. They're perfect to work out in. Like they're so nice and comfy. But you're exactly right on the power of social media. If used correctly, it's a really cool tool to have, but also if used the wrong way can be very like if you're just using it for entertainment, it can be very bad because you start judging yourself for what other people see.
Oh
They
yeah.
don't see the downs. They don't see the me trying to figure out what my week looks like. They don't see me trying to figure out the next event to run. They don't see the next K that's being ran that I've had to go talk to 10 people, get drugged down the road by one. And then it's like, why didn't you just tell me this in the first place? They don't see the hard work behind the scenes. They just see the good things. They see the motivational stuff that I say, but used in the right way, it's a really cool tool to have, and it's great that we all can network and help each other out because this is such a big market, and if we don't help each other out, then we're just going to continue to get products and things just destroyed by China and these people that aren't doing it. Like it was with the kids shirt with the fire department when I very first started Tommy Flames was, wait, why are they selling a fire department shirt? Or a fire department costume. They don't know what it's like. Well, they're just
Yeah.
using it. So why not help each other and build all these great things and use our connections together to help? Because
Mhm.
if we help one person get help, that's a win, man.
That's it.
It's a
Absolutely.
win.
This is collaboration. This isn't competition, man. Even
Yeah.
if this wasn't a dollar thing, even if this was a number thing with people's lives, there's 800,000 cops that are working now, over a million firefighters, 16 million vets. Bro, there is enough space. And by the way, that one firefighter, maybe they have a family of four. So there's three people that if we can impact their lives, as three people that we're improving their lives.
Yeah.
Those two people, those two kids go to school. They're better people in school for their friends. They're better friends. The spouse goes to work and they're a better worker and a better coworker and a better friend at work, a better leader at work. The
Mm,
ripple effect of doing the right thing for the right reasons, bro, it is a power beyond measure. It really is, man. And I'm so grateful and so blessed to have an opportunity just to be here, bro.
yeah.
Thank you for today. And I appreciate it, man. What
Yeah.
is your parting shot, your parting thought for the four people still listening? My audience will get bigger one day, I promise.
Oh, hey, it's all right, man. Mine too. Like, you sit there and you put me on this pedestal. I'm like, dude, I'm a small fish in
No,
this.
dude, this is no. You gotta don't stop. Don't think like that, man. Me,
Yeah,
me connecting with you has a firefighter asking me for advice, and
yeah,
being able to help him with what I've learned by doing stuff the wrong way. That's bro. If,
yeah,
if
yeah,
nothing
man.
else comes out of this relationship, that's cool as shit, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, I mean, who's gonna carry the flag? Who you carrying the flag for, and who's gonna carry that flag for the next generation?
I dig it,
Yeah.
brother. Where can everybody find you?
On Instagram, carry the flag USA, and then the website's carrytheflagusa.com.
Wonderful. I
And
appreciate you, Chris.
yeah, man, definitely. I appreciate you and I appreciate everything that you've done. And I truly mean that. And I want to tell everybody I truly, truly mean when I say thank you because I can't do it without people like you. I can't do it without people that are following me, all the great stuff, the content anybody purchases. Like, I can't do it without any of you. So I truly appreciate it.
Well, thank you, brother. Well, everybody, we will catch you next time. I'll tell the story. And remember, we are stronger than before together. See you soon.
See ya.